Good day everyone, this is Isaiah Quran from BSNT2B. Today we're going to talk about the properties of water. Do you know Giyu? I mean the water pillar from the Demon Slayer. He is a water pillar. His swordplay or sword technique mimics the water, meaning he can move with elegance and fluidity as such with water. Now, aside from the fact that it is used by Giyu as his combat style, is there more of a water? What makes it unique and its properties aside from the fact that it is used by Giyu as his combat style. And today, that's what we're going to talk about for today's video. So the properties of water are: it is a universal solvent, it has high heat capacity, and high latent heat of vaporization. So we're heading for the first one. So as universal solvent, water is a polar molecule, a trait that makes the water as an excellent solvent for most of our solutes in our world. Because it is polar in nature, it breaks down most of the solute coming into contact with it. So for example, we have the solute and the solvent. Now we put the solute to the water, and water as a solvent, and it dissolves any solute that comes into contact into it. So therefore, we're going to form a solution. Now for the next one, it has water have high specific heat capacity. Water's high specific heat capacity means it takes a huge amount of energy to change its temperature. This trait makes the water vital for our lives, since they can absorb large amount of heat that our body produces. For example, in this illustration, it is shown that our body is composed of 70% water, and honestly and science basis, our body produces heat internally. As a matter of fact, it is about our cells or metabolism that produces that heat during our exertion or maybe our sickness as well. And water regulates those temperature. It absorbs heat so that our body can keep its regulation and normal temperature that is harmless to our body. Next, water has a high latent heat of vaporization. Means water highs latent heat of vaporization means it absorbs a massive amount of heat to turn from liquid to gas. This property makes water an excellent coolant. When you sweat, our body uses excess heat to vaporize the water. And for example, there were two kind of sources of heat. It is either from internal or external. And for internal, for example, we exerted ourselves in exercises. And as we exert, our body metabolizes with too much reactions that make our body warm. Or as we exert effort, our body generates more heat. So our body response to that is to sweat, mainly to absorb the heat coming from internal part of our body, so that it vaporizes or evaporates. Those sweat takes the heat coming from our body and it evaporates so that our body temperature drops. And for external, it is the environment itself that is the factor where the heat comes from. So our body responds the same way. It sweats, it absorbs the heat that our body absorbed by the heat of our environment, or it serves as a barrier that protects us from the sun or the heat of the environment that absorbs the heat to keep our body at its regular or in normal range of temperature. So we talk about water. So all we have to remember is that it's thermal, high specific heat, evaporative cooling. Next is solvent, dissolving capability, hydration. Next is cohesion, it has a surface tension. And lastly, a living matter. It makes life possible, since it regulates or it is essential for our life to exist. So that will be all for my presentation, and thank you for watching.